Welcome to my channel Sella Buzz. Dennis Weaver finally talks about James Arness. Dennis Weaver was born Billy Dennis Weaver on June 4, 1924 in Joplin, Missouri. Growing up in the middle of America, Weaver's small-town roots really shaped who he was both on TV and off. His early life was filled with simple country living and being around the bigger cultural changes happening in mid-1900s America. This helped create the caring, real and warm personality that would later become what people loved about him as an actor. Weaver started getting into acting when he was in college at the University of Oklahoma. He first studied drama and radio, broadcasting there. Dennis Weaver began his acting journey in the theater. He first worked as a backup actor for Lonnie Chapman in the role of Turk Fisher in the famous Broadway show, Come Back Little Sheba, even though he started in a small supporting role. Weaver's talent quickly showed to directors and audiences. Soon he was trusted with the main role in the National Touring Company. This chance let him practice his acting skills in front of different audiences all across the United States. He gained really valuable experience that would later help shape how he acted in movies and on TV. His early theater work showed his hard work, discipline, and ability to play many different types of characters. These traits would define his career for many decades to come. Wanting to get even better at acting, Weaver joined the famous Actors Studio in New York City. This was a tough training place for method actors. During this time, Weaver lived a life marked by never giving up and being practical. He had to balance his acting studies with a bunch of odd jobs to make money to survive. He sold vacuum cleaners, tricycles, and even women's stockings. This showed not only that he was resourceful, but that he was completely committed to his craft. It was at the Actors Studio that he met the famous actress Shelley Winters. She saw his potential and helped him get a contract with Universal Studios in 1952. This was a big stepping stone toward having a real screen career. Even with this early studio contract, Universal Studios only gave Weaver limited chances to show his abilities in leading or important roles. Not discouraged, he decided to work as a freelance actor. He navigated the uncertain world of film and television with determination. His never-give-up attitude paid off when he made his movie debut in the 1953 Technicolor Western The Redhead from Wyoming. This role introduced his tough charisma and natural screen presence to a bigger audience. Over the next 3 years, Weaver appeared in several films. He steadily built his portfolio while continuing to do odd jobs to stay financially stable. This showed his relentless work ethic and humility. Weaver's big break came with his famous role as Chester Goode in the radio and television Western drama series Gunsmoke. Playing the loyal limping deputy to Marshal Matt Dillon. Weaver filled the character with warmth, humor, and humanity. He created a memorable and beloved figure in American television history. His detailed performance connected with audiences nationwide. This earned him the Emmy Award for Best Supporting Actor in 1959, and made him one of the most talented actors of his generation. Gunsmoke's huge popularity not only brought Weaver fame, but also opened doors to a wide variety of roles across both television and film. After his success on Gunsmoke, Weaver continued to make his career more diverse. He appeared in the syndicated anthology series The Silent Service as Commander B.D. Culpepper, and took on a supporting role in the acclaimed 1958 film noir Touch of Evil, directed by Orson Welles. In the early 1970s, Weaver explored his musical talents. He released his first album under I Am Press Records LP and started his own record label, Just Good Records. This showed his business spirit and creative versatility. Throughout the 1960s, Weaver remained a familiar face on television. He appeared in anthology programs like Alfred Hitchcock Presents in 1960 and The Twilight Zone in 1961. From 1964 to 1965, he played a veterinarian in the NBC comedy drama Kentucky Jones, before returning to Western roles in the film Duel at Diablo in 1966 as Willard Grange and the CBS family series Gentle Ben from 1967 to 1969. He played Tom Wedlow, further making his reputation as a versatile and dependable actor stronger. Weaver's later television work continued to earn critical recognition. He received 2 additional Emmy nominations for his portrayal of Deputy Marshal Sam McLeod in the NBC police drama McLeod from 1970 to 1977. He reprised the role in a 1971 TV movie directed by Steven Spielberg. Showing his commitment to the broader acting community, he served as president of the Screen Actors Guild from 1973 to 1975, fighting for actors' rights and industry standards. Weaver was not afraid to tackle socially relevant topics on television. In 1977, he played an abusive husband in the groundbreaking TV movie Intimate Strangers, one of the earliest projects to address domestic violence. This reflected his willingness to engage with challenging material. He also took on the role of Trail Boss R.J. Poteet. He played Trail Boss R.J. Poteet in the epic miniseries Centennial in 1978, showing his enduring appeal in Western-themed productions. The 1980s saw Weaver continue to dominate television, taking main roles in ABC series such as Stone, playing detective-turned-crime novelist Sergeant Daniel Stone, and Buck James as a Texas surgeon and rancher. He also starred as Rear Admiral Thomas Mallory in the CBS series Emerald Point Naz from 1983 to 1984. This showed his ability to adapt in both drama and procedural genres. During this decade, he appeared in numerous acclaimed TV movies, including Amber Waves in 1980, worked alongside his son Robert in Stone, and played historical figure Dr. Samuel Mudd in The Ordeal of Dr. Mudd. His performances in Cocaine, One Man Seduction in 1983, and Bluffing It in 1987 further showed his ability to tackle complex, challenging roles with detail and authenticity. Beyond acting, Weaver directed 4 episodes of Gunsmoke and 1 episode of McCloud, produced the documentary Dennis Weaver's Earthship and the TV movie The Return of Sam McCloud, and lent his voice to the animated series The Simpsons as Buck McCoy in 2002. This showed a lifelong commitment to exploring every part of storytelling. Weaver's final television appearance was as Henry Ritter in ABC's Wildfire, a role cut tragically short by his passing. Throughout his career, he received numerous awards, including the 1981 Bronze Wrangler Award and induction into the Hall of Great Western Performers at the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum in Oklahoma City. He was also honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, a permanent reminder of his huge contributions to film, television, and American culture. Dennis Weaver's personal life was deeply connected with his commitment to family. It began with his marriage to Jerry Stowell shortly after the end of World War II. The post-war period in America was a time of rebuilding and hope. And like many returning servicemen and women, Weaver looked for stability and companionship in his home life. Jerry Stowell became that anchor for him, offering support and partnership through both the highs and lows of his growing acting career. Their union was not only a romantic bond, but also a foundation for a nurturing family environment. One that would last for decades. Together, Dennis and Jerry welcomed 3 sons into the world: Ricky, Robbie, and Rusty Weaver. Each of their children represented a new chapter in the Weavers' lives, and Dennis often spoke about the deep joy and sense of responsibility he felt as a father. His relationship with his sons reflected his values of dedication, hard work, and integrity, qualities he showed on screen and off. While the demands of Hollywood and a public career could have distanced him from family life, Weaver remained a present and engaged father, attending milestones, supporting their ambitions, and creating a home where his children could grow with confidence and love. Jerry Weaver herself was a remarkable figure in the family, providing unwavering support to Dennis while raising their children. She lived a long life, passing away on April 26, 2016 at the age of 90, leaving behind a legacy of devotion both to her husband and to their family. Her long life allowed her to witness the full story of Dennis's career, from his early television appearances to his celebrated status as a beloved actor. Her life and partnership with Dennis showed the enduring power of love, resilience, and companionship through the decades, making the Weaver family story one of enduring strength and warmth. Dennis Weaver, the beloved actor whose name became connected with the famous television western Gunsmoke and the memorable series McCloud. He finally broke his long-held silence about his relationship with fellow actor James Arness. Weaver's comments, presented in his own words, offer a rare and intimate look into the relationship between 2 of television's most enduring stars, revealing layers of respect, tension, and unspoken friendship that had long remained behind the scenes. "James and I had a very unique relationship," Weaver said. his voice filled with a mix of nostalgia and honest truth. We were colleagues, yes, but we were also two very different men with very different ways of seeing the world. I respected him. I admired his craft, but there were moments, oh, so many moments, where I simply could not match his intensity with my own approach to work and life. Weaver went on to describe the early days of his interactions with Arness, which were marked by a mixture of professional admiration and cautious distance. When I first met James on the set, I knew immediately that he was someone special, Weaver recalled. He had this aura of authority, this gravity, the kind that makes people listen, makes people respect him instantly. And I, coming in as the younger, perhaps more impulsive actor, was both intimidated and inspired by that presence. But inspiration can be complicated. You see, admiration alone doesn't always make for easy friendship. There were days when I wanted to challenge him, not out of disrespect, but out of curiosity, out of a desire to push myself, and in some ways push him too. He didn't shy away from highlighting the moments of friction that naturally came up between two strong personalities sharing the same creative space. We had disagreements, Weaver admitted honestly. Not about the work itself necessarily, because he was always perfectly professional, but about approach, about the way certain scenes should be interpreted or the way the energy on set should flow. James had a very specific rhythm, a very precise vision of how Gunsmoke should unfold, and it was sometimes hard for me to match that with my own instincts. There were days when it felt like we were speaking two different languages, even though we were both trying to tell the same story. Yet, despite the occasional clashes and the differences in their temperaments, Weaver emphasized the depth of his respect for Arness, especially when reflecting on Arness's work ethic and commitment to his craft. I have never met another actor who could carry the weight of a character like he could, Weaver said. James Arness didn't just act, he embodied. Every step, every glance, every pause in his performance carried meaning. Watching him work taught me more than any acting class ever could. And yes, we argued. Yes, we disagreed. But those moments of tension were never personal. They were creative friction, the kind that sharpens you, the kind that makes you a better actor. I owe a lot to him for that, even if I didn't always admit it at the time. Weaver also reflected on the human side of Arness, revealing glimpses of the man behind the towering screen persona. People think James was all seriousness, all intensity, he said. And yes, he was serious about his work, but he had a quiet sense of humor, the kind that sneaks up on you when you least expect it. There were times on set when he'd crack a joke, just a small, subtle one, and it would lighten the room instantly. Those were the moments when I felt closest to him, when the barriers between us seemed to fall away, if only for a moment. Finally, Weaver's reflections carried a tone of reconciliation and enduring admiration. Looking back, I realized that the complexities of our relationship were part of what made it so remarkable, he concluded. James Arness was a man of great talent, great intensity, and great heart. We may have had our differences, and we may have had our disagreements, but the truth is that I will always be grateful for the time I spent alongside him. He taught me lessons I carry with me to this day, and I think that's the ultimate tribute an actor can give to a colleague: respect, honesty, and a recognition of the greatness they bring to the craft. Through these long-awaited remarks, Dennis Weaver not only provided insight into his personal connection with James Arness, but also offered a broader reflection on the challenges and rewards of working alongside someone whose talent and presence are both formidable and inspiring. It is a rare glimpse into the delicate balance of rivalry, respect, and friendship that exists behind the polished surface of Hollywood's golden era. For fans of both actors, Weaver's words serve as both a revelation and a heartfelt tribute, cementing the enduring legacy of two men who helped define television history. Dennis Weaver passed away on February 24, 2006 at the age of 81, leaving behind a legacy that stretched far beyond the world of acting. His death occurred at his home in Ridgway, Colorado, a place he had chosen for its peaceful landscapes and quiet charm, reflecting his deep appreciation for nature and a slower pace of life. Weaver had been battling prostate cancer, a disease that affects thousands of men each year, and despite the challenges it presented, he faced his illness with remarkable strength and dignity. His passing marked the end of a life filled with artistic achievement, personal dedication, and humanitarian efforts. For decades, audiences had admired him for his compelling performances on television and film. From his early appearances on dramatic series to his famous role on Gunsmoke, which showed his talent and versatility. Beyond the screen, Weaver was known for his advocacy in environmental causes. His involvement in road safety, and his commitment to his family, leaving a permanent mark on both his community and fans worldwide. His death was mourned by colleagues, friends, and admirers alike, who remembered him not only as a gifted actor, but also as a compassionate and principled individual whose influence extended far beyond entertainment.